Okay, now I'm back with the 6 months review. This is my EcoTouch instant electric water heater, the 5.5 kilowatt version. This is just my honest review in regards to how the hot water heater has been functioning thus far. Thus far, it has exceeded my expectation. There's some pros and there's some cons. The pros for me is that you get what you want. When I say get what you want, I mean you turn on your faucet and your hot water is delivered to you within a few seconds. Even though there's a heat loss, not really, let me not say heat loss, but through the pipeline you would have to let all the cold water out before the hot water reaches. So that's the waiting time that you have to wait for. Outside that, the hot water heater performs flawlessly. Now on my setup, I did something a little different. I'm not sure if anyone else have done this, but me personally, I've done this for me because of what I realized what is happening. So let me tell you one of the things that is happening. I have two valves here. I have a cold water valve, cold water stopcock, and I have a hot water stopcock. And as you can see, the cold water stopcock is on the right and the hot water is on the left. Now what I did, I reduce the wideness of the hot water stopcock. Why I did that? Because I realized that when I open, when I have the hot water stopcock open fully, and then the water temperature doesn't get as hot because it's allowing a good amount of water to pass through the EcoTouch itself, which wouldn't allow the water to get heated up. So what I did, I throttled it using that stopcock, and that would give me a controlled flow, meaning the hot water heater heats up water at a specific it heats it up at a specific rate. So if you exceed that rate, then your water coming to your faucets or wherever would be a little less than what you'd expect. Well, it is to the manufacturer's recommendation, but if you're trying to use it for different applications, then I recommend that you put in a stopcock and regulate how much water is going out so that you could withstand some of that water in the heater so that the heater could do its work and heat the water properly. Now, you may not get the proper temperature. I mean, not the temperature, you may not get the proper flow that you were expecting up in the shower, but it works and it's satisfying for me. It is satisfying. It is not overpowering in the shower, but it is a good flow and it actually works well throughout the entire house. So for me, this is a plus. Now, so the pros for me is that one, you get what you ask for. Hot water in, cold water in, you get your hot water out. It's instant. It's energy efficient. You use it at your convenience. It only uses energy when you're using, the unit itself. The unit itself, another pro is that the unit itself is easy to install. It takes you literally at least half hour, could be less depending on if you know exactly what you're doing, and it works well. And as you can see, I started out at 105, 106 degrees Fahrenheit, but the temperature in the unit is dropping because it's inactive, so the temperature would drop until it reached the atmospheric temperature. Now for the cons for me, it all depends on how you want to install this unit. For those who want to have access to the unit, for instance, if there's a power outage in your village or in your home or in your area, then you'd have to manually come and turn back on the power manually. But there's another version that comes with a remote, and you could turn this on with the remote and the unit will turn back on fine. So that is a plus. But if you're using the EcoTouch without the remote, then please bear in mind that you have to come back down here manually and turn it on. The next point that I want to make is the throttling. That's the next point that I want to make. Because of the throttling, if you want to work without throttling, like I said, I bought the 5.5 kilowatt version, so that's why I have to throttle to get the temperature that I'm needing or I'm requiring to be up to the faucet. then you would go for a higher wattage. They have some, I think they have the 10 kilowatt or maybe 11 kilowatt version. I think these are the ones that you could use in your home to get sufficient water and sufficient temperature delivered to your faucets. But for those of you who don't mind using your hot water heater, I mean, maybe the 5.5 kilowatt version is good enough for you. But me personally, this is good enough for me. But maybe it may be good enough for you, maybe not. Like I'm saying, right now, this hot water heater could go up to 100 and something degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm only using it at 110 degrees Fahrenheit. But please bear in mind, the higher up you set the temperature, it is the higher up your electricity bill will go, because this would increase in your energy consumption. So I have mine at a regulated flow, and with this I am satisfied with my current energy consumption based on what this heater is using. Right now you see it, I have it set to 101 degrees Fahrenheit. I would increase the temperature up to its maximum so you could see how high it goes. Like I said, mine is set to 100 and I think it's 110 degrees Fahrenheit or 105 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is good enough for me and my family to take a comfortable shower. Right now you see the temperature is dropping, as I said earlier. This is dropping because it's not being used and it's dropping back to the atmospheric temperature. So as you can see, I have it set to 131. I just set it to 131. This is the maximum heating, 131 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is as high as it goes. So like I'm saying, you're only using it 105, or yeah, I think my set point was 105 or 110. And that gives me sufficient. So maybe for those who don't mind increasing their energy consumption a little bit for the comfort of getting some hot water to their household, then the 5.5 kilowatt version may not be an issue for you. I think this pull a maximum of 24 amps or 30 amps, between 24 and 30 amps maximum. So if you guys don't mind using that for, you're taking a shower or you're doing your laundry or whatever the case may be for a short period, then I think this heater will do well for you. But if you're going to be using it for an extended period, then you could increase the sizing of your hot water heater. And last but not least, this hot water heater was recommended for use in the salon and nothing heavy, but I try to use this in different application where I use it in my household, in my shower, in my bathroom, in my kitchen, laundry, and it works fine. So, but please note that they recommend that this is only to be used for light work, maybe your dishwasher, in your bathroom sink or something like that. They say it's not suited for bathing purposes, but for me personally, I've been using it for all these applications and it works fine. So if you don't mind taking the gamble, then you could do it. But I could tell you, for me personally, the hot water heater, it works fine in all applications.